Madam Chair, I join the honorable members on this side of the House in expressing my wholehearted support for Budget 2024. As I considered the budget, I recall His Excellency President Dr. Muhammad Irfan Ali saying in his New Year's Day address that, quote, government pledges to improve the lives of our people. We are honoring that promise. The fruits of our collective efforts are beginning to ripen. The future of Guyana is bright and promising. We have set Guyana on a course of sustained growth and prosperity. End of quote. As I reflected on what the President said and what the Honorable Minister Dr. Ashni Kumar Singh has proposed, it is clear as day that the PPP Civic is committed to honoring their promises to our people. This budget, like all the budgets of the present and past PPP Civic administration, demonstrates sincerity in fulfilling the party's promises to the electorate. It is a marked departure from the actions of the former coalition government and its good life for all mantra. Really, the good life that they spoke about was meant for themselves, whereas the masses lived in misery and confronted pauperization. Budget 2024 has broken all records. It anticipates spending in the interest of our people $1,146 billion. By any yardstick, it is a massive investment in our people. Many have told me that they never expected such resources would be available for our people and our nation's development in their lifetime. Today, Guyanese are assured that the PPP Civic as a party and a government is focused on the all-round development of all our people, including my comrades on the other side of this honorable House. All our people. The budget's theme, staying the course, building prosperity for all, highlights the thinking that influences the PPP Civic as it works towards the betterment of all Guyanese. Madam Chair, given my background as a legitimate trade unionist, I'm very interested in the specific measures which safeguard and advance the lot of the working people and their families. Their hopes for a better future revolve around an adequate life with good health, proper education for their children and grandchildren, affordable housing, comfort, safety, and security. That is why I am heartened, Madam Speaker, to recognize that Budget 2024 aims to address those questions meaningfully. Indeed, the working people and their families were not let down. The budget speaks for itself, and therefore I will amplify just a few of its manifold interventions. By allocating $135.2 billion to the education sector, every Guyanese can acquire the skill and knowledge that will enable them to be gainfully employed and achieve tremendous success in life. One of the most significant developments in this sphere is the first step taken towards providing free university education. Thousands of Guyanese will now realize their dreams of a university education, and doors will be open, especially for those from lower earning households. The significant investments to construct new hospitals and other medical facilities across the country is a development well received by our working people, recognizing that it will significantly improve the access to health services. Moreover, the interventions aimed at expanding the range of services available have been impressive, with some previously only accessible overseas now being offered locally. Additionally, there have been concerted efforts to improve the skills of healthcare professionals, which is expected to bolster the sector's effectiveness. The measures aimed at screening for cervical cancer among women and sight disorders among school-age children and the elderly must be commended. Many hardworking people have finally realized their dreams of home ownership after years of waiting. The budget highlights a significant achievement of over 30,000 house lots being allocated in a very short time. This is a monumental achievement, especially considering that the housing program halted during the coalition's term. Madam Speaker, I know many workers paid careful attention to the budget and were not disappointed. Increasing the income tax threshold to 100,000 monthly is a significant gain. This intervention alone will put some $5 billion in the pocket of our workers. Additionally, our working people will benefit further from improving their tax allowances for life and medical insurance deductions. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, action speaks louder than words, and the records provide deafening testimony. Old age pensions, public assistance, and NIS minimum pensions have all increased. That apart, there is an allocation of $121.4 billion for wages and salaries. And the Honorable Minister said very clearly, pay increases will be announced later. Mr. Speaker, despite all of this, some of the honorable members across the House claims Budget 2024 have nothing for the ordinary people. They must come out of their sleep. It's time for them to wake up and pee. Our workers' children will continue to benefit from the Because We Care grant, which has been improved by almost 15%. For those with short memories, Mr. Speaker, that grant was heartlessly taken away by the coalition. Today, together with the uniform allowance, Guyanese children will receive a whooping $10 billion through this initiative alone. The government, in the interest of reducing the cost of living, are not levying any taxes on fuel, foregoing a massive $40 billion in revenue, which will go back into the people's pockets. Furthermore, the reduction in freight charges for imports significantly contributes to mitigating the rising cost of living, while financial support to both the GPL and GWI to maintain electricity and water tariff, respectively, also represents a substantial saving to the working class. Despite the various measures taken to improve the situation, some honorable members of the former coalition have been making reckless and unfounded statements about the budget. It appears, Mr. Speaker, they want Guyanese to forget that under APNU AFC, The population paid taxes on water, electricity, and even education. Mr. Speaker, it is this government that showed its commitment to the welfare of the citizens by removing those taxes and ensuring that hard-working people can take home more. Mr. Speaker, Budget 2024 highlighted many bright spots. The sugar industry is one such area. It is heartening to say that since 2020, the industry has rising back to life. It is a far cry from what it was when the 𝐁𝐔𝐃𝐄𝐓 exited office. To put it bluntly, clearly, Committee Speaker, the sugar industry was hanging by a thread. The situation had become so terrible that the industry was on the verge of shutdown. And what did our honorable comrades from the coalition did? Absolutely nothing. They turned a blind eye, stuck their noses, and remained in their ivory towers. They seemed perfectly content with allowing thousands more to go on the breadline. It was clear that they wanted the sugar industry to go, and they were prepared, it seems, by any means necessary. Despite all the havoc they created, some honorable members of the coalition now claim that they care about sugar workers and they love them. Mr. Speaker, they care so much that they decided to freeze sugar workers' pay for the entire term in their office. Their affection was so undying that they sent 7,000 workers home and punished thousands more when they closed Skeldon, Rose Hall, East Demerara, and Wales Estate. Mr. Speaker, their love was so pure that they decided to slash and remove the sugar workers' benefit. They were so compassionate, Mr. Speaker, that they decided to charge the jobless workers to fish in the closed estate canals when they try to catch fish to help them to eat. Mr. Speaker, the situation is like day will follow night. Since 2020, when we took office, the industry has demonstrated its resilience. In 2023, production expanded and the sugar target was surpassed. Additionally, I'm advised that the industry is expanding the production of packaged, direct consumption sugar, and new lucrative markets are being obtained. Extensive field rehabilitation is also advancing, and more lands are being converted to facilitate mechanical operations to improve productivity and reduce costs. A significant feat was the resumption of sugar production at Rose Hall Estate, which was devastated after the closure. Thousands of dismissed workers are now rehired, and certainly under this PPP civic government, better days are ahead. But Budget 2024 anticipates that production will rise markedly and further efforts to consolidate the sector will be pursued. The future appears promising, and the attainments of the industry, Committee Speaker, cannot be delinked from the consistent support of the Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali government. I extend profound appreciation on behalf of the thousands of workers in the sugar belt. Mr. Speaker, let me be clear. Budget 2024 is a huge victory for the working class. It is a step towards a better future for all of us, and we should applaud the government for its effort. Mr. Speaker, at the end of these debates, the eyes of all Guyanese will be open for them to judge who really cares to them. On that note, sir, I urge all my fellow parliamentarians, including those who are not pleased about what they heard and about the sugar industry coming back to life, that we support wholeheartedly this budget It is time that we come together and work together towards a brighter future for our nation's people. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.